Who's a busy little curb, seeing stuff that will disturb, going to AWA so that he can go and play Kirblog. Kirblog the bee. Don't be confused or close the window. All will be explained in time. So I'm ripping my eyes away from my goddamn Twitter feed from this Bowsette, Peachzer, whatever, Mario Fetish Fuel fan art that's fucking apparently completely flooding my timeline. To do this Kirblog this week because it turns out I'm still not quite ready yet to get back to streaming. I'm very close. My hand is getting better. It's feeling better and better every day. I've been taking care of it, but I have a lot of recording to do this week, so I'm going to at least take at least one more week, and then I think I should be okay in October to get back to animating again. But in the meantime, I want to have another video for the week, so here's another little Kirblog about my experience with AWA, as I have other plans for the weekend. Before I talk about the convention itself, though, here's a little funny story about Maya the fucking bee. So I was on a flight to Atlanta, of course, and it was about 4 or 5 hours or so. And I was a dum-dum, and I forgot to bring really much of anything. I traveled light. I didn't pack much with me. But I didn't really bring much of anything to do on the flight. So I was like, oh, I'll watch a movie. And I also didn't buy or bring headphones or earplugs or whatever. And I also didn't realize that the flight had subtitles, as evidenced by on the way back. I watched Avengers Affinity War. Avengers Affinity War. That's the one. That's the movie. And it's 2.5 hours long, so it took up most of the flight. I watched that with subtitles. Anyway, nonetheless, I was like, oh, I'll watch a movie to kill some time, I guess. So I was flipping through what was available on Delta, and there was this Maya the Bee CG animated movie. And literally my only experience with Maya the Bee is having not seen the original series or the new series or knowing much of anything about the character. I remember on an animation forum I used to go to a billion years ago in my Newgrounds days that I kind of lurked on and made some trouble on. The people would torture one of the heads of the forum by embedding the Maya the Bee theme song into threads and just playing it ad nauseum and driving him insane. That's literally all I know. Nonetheless, I was like, oh, sure, I'll watch this and watch some cute animation, I guess. It looks appealing, and sure, why not? So I threw it on, and I was charmed by it. I was captivated by not only the fact that the animation was very good, but it was effective in that kids movie sort of way where I was able to tell what the hell was going on for the most part, even without being able to understand what the characters were saying. I understood what the plot was anyway. But that's not the funny story. Later that night, this is Thursday. So Thursday, and we didn't have any programming for the convention itself. Myself and a few of the other guests get in. And, I'm still on California time, so it's like, midnight, and which means it's only 9 p.m., over in L.A. So I get back to my room, and they have, the nice hotel room and a little TV. It's got, like, Netflix and YouTube and other stuff built onto it. And so I think to myself, oh, I could maybe kill an hour or so. And that movie was pretty short. It was like an hour and 10, 20 minutes or something. I don't know. So I was like, I'll go find that. I'm sure it's probably on Netflix. So I spend, a little while trying to log into Netflix and resetting passwords and whatever the hell. And it turns out it's not on there. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, well, maybe it's on YouTube and I can rent it on YouTube. So I go on and I try to rent it on YouTube. And I try to buy the HD version, and it doesn't work on the thing. I try to do it on my phone, doesn't work. And then I was like, oh, great, okay. So I tried to buy the standard definition version, and I was able to get that to work on the TV, and except it wouldn't load because the video was too long. And apparently this TV had the capacity of a fucking 2007 flip phone or something that can't play videos. So essentially what I'm saying is I wasted an hour of my adult life trying to get Maya the Bee and the Honey Games fucking children's CG animated movie for children to play on a hotel TV in Atlanta. And then I finally watched it. I'm recording this on Monday night before it goes up on Tuesday day. And I just watched it a little while ago. And then to much not surprise, it's not even that good of a movie. Once I could understand the dialogue, oh, wow, this is really, of course, super childish and not super smart, and its messages are kind of all over the place. But it's cute, and the character designs are appealing, and the animation's really impressive, and it's competent. I guess I wouldn't even recommend checking it out, but I did that. Anyway, the convention was lovely and fantastic, and I had a great time at Anime Week in Atlanta. I had the esteemed pleasure of getting to hang out with a whole bunch of lovely, lovely people, old friends, people I hadn't seen in a while, friends I see quite often, and made some new friends, lovely people. Not just a lot of the guests as well, who were all very kind as well, but the amazing, amazing staff, everybody from my handler to the people who ran the green room to the guest relations people, everyone was so incredibly professional and friendly and wonderful to be around. They took such incredibly good care of us the whole weekend, so major, major shout-outs to them. I'd always heard great things about Anime Week in Atlanta throughout many years, but getting to experience it for myself was a real treat, so I loved it. I really hope I get to come back next year. But as for some funny stories about what happened throughout the weekend, nothing happened Thursday. We just got there late, and so for those of you who don't know, and of course I'll get a little bit more into this later on, but the big reveal, as it turned out to be, was Viz Media was flying out myself and a few other folks specifically to announce the dubcast of a little certain huge show that is finally getting an English dub, and I'll get into the details of that, of course, in a little bit. But so we were kind of last minute, and we weren't able to talk exactly about what we were there for specifically. A lot of the guests were there to promote specific things that they were in and all that sort of thing, or just, to show up as just guests in general and stuff. But so myself and a few of the others were there for that. But we were invited on a few other panels that were happening throughout the weekend, and crashed a few other ones throughout different points in time. And so for Friday, the first full actual day of the con for us, all the guests and everything, I was part of Kyle McCarley's Embarrassing Origins panel. That was myself, Kyle, Kira Buckland, Michael Sinner-Nicholas, and Bryson Baugus, I believe. And we all told some, cringy early stories about, well, they were supposed to be cringy early stories about, Matilda Smigius, who is the voice of Brigitte from Overwatch. I can now never read Bridget, even the American version of Bridget, as anything but Brigitte. So thank you, Matilda, for that. You've infected me, apparently. We were showing. The whole point of the panel was showing dumb, cringy stories about things that we had done back in the day or whatever. And some folks had even brought videos of old acting gigs and little funny things or whatever. But most of them ended up being actually kind of just adorable and not actually cringy. Except for mine, however, where Michael showed off the his very first union acting job on some TV show where he was a pizza boy that had 2 lines. So we see little, young teenage Sinner-Nicholas in there. And then Matilda showed the kazoo a cappella band that she was part of in high school, which was actually really cool and not embarrassing at all. A few of us, Kyle had some funny videos as well. Kira had some old stories about a producer that she met back in the day who was super critical and mean to her. And then she ended up working with him years later and was the main character in a project he was doing, which was hilarious. And then for myself, I told a story about how I had basically come to a recording studio that does anime uninvited when I was a teenager, when I was just starting college, and how I absolutely should not have done that, and how I should have been blacklisted entirely and gotten in massive trouble, and then ended up working for that studio way later on in my career, and have gone on to do stuff for them back then. But that was hilarious, and especially with certain people there that did or did not know the story already. But yes, that was the first thing. And then the following Saturday after that, we filmed some interesting stuff with the Viz Media guys. We've been doing some little, social media things for the YouTube channel and Twitter and all that. That should be going up, I think, within the year, most likely. And had some fun with that. Then I went ahead and I crashed the video game voice actor panel as well, which Lauren Londo was kind enough to let me, sneak onto. And that was cool. We talked a little bit about just some of our work and that, and did sort of a general Q&A with everybody. And then the big thing that we were there for, of course, is there was the Viz Media panel that was happening. And, there was the big unveiling and premiere of Mr. Osomatsu, which is, of course, a very, very popular, technically with the original Osomatsu-kun series from, God, I think the 60s or 70s or something. That dates back a billion years ago. But, of course, Mr. Osomatsu, Osomatsu-san, is the newest incarnation from only just a few years ago. It's recently getting a movie, of course, as well. and Viz is finally doing the English dub of that, and they were announcing myself, Cinder Nicholas, Ray Chase, Kyle McCarley, Billy Kometz, and Max Middleman, who was not there because he was busy doing another con that weekend. We all went up, and we also showcased a little bit of one of the early episodes, I think the second or third episode of the show, where the one that it was a skit that involved the Choromatsu seeing, which of course Choromatsu is the character that I'm voicing in the dub. He was seeing like a bunch of college kids having a good time at some party or whatever, and then the brothers come over to try to quote unquote help him in the form of a bunch of Power Ranger suits, and then it turns into a tokusatsu thing. It's ridiculous. And the people really responded well to it. As people learned very quickly, it's a dirty, filthy, disgusting dub with lots of foul language, and the adaptation writing is hilarious. The show is, of course, already hilarious, but the wonderfully talented Patrick Seitz is writing and directing it at Studiopolis, and it is excellent. I'm having so much fun getting to work on it. This was the big one. This was the big announcement that I was waiting to unveil to you guys over the last couple weeks. And it's been a blast. We've only done a few episodes so far, but I'm very, very happy because there's quite a large number of them to do, and so that's nice. And I think there's not been any specific news yet on where it's going to be or what the whole plan for releasing it is just yet. But I hope that it will do well. People responded really well to the clip, and that was awesome. Unfortunate downside was because of the fact that everything was kept so secret, for good reason, of course. We didn't get necessarily a whole ton of people showing up at the panel, and sadly less people showing up at our Osomatsu autograph that was right after that, because of course it wasn't revealed that it was us until the end of the panel, and a lot of people had walked out, which was kind of a shame, but that's how it goes. But wasn't a big deal. We still met some nice people. Actually, the following day on Sunday, I had a fairly big autograph line from a whole bunch of people. Thank you. In fact, if you're listening to this and you came up to the autograph table and spoke to me, thank you very much. Everybody was so incredibly kind, and like I didn't get like any like weird or awkward people or any like uncomfortable situations. Everyone was super, super cool. And especially to anybody who were kind enough to buy some of the art prints. Little quick story about that. So I would have created an art print myself if my hand was in proper working condition, but unfortunately it was not. However, Mike Lucas, of course, was extremely kind as to bail me out of a huge fucking jam. And he did a pretty quick, and he's so humble because he was like, oh yeah, it's not that detailed, sorry it's not great or whatever, and it still looks amazing. And he made this awesome art print with Choromatsu, Dezel from Zestiria, Reagan from Mob Psycho, Pegasus from Sailor Moon, and Shawapoof from Hunter x Hunter. All in this art print together. A few people bought it. Thank you very much to those of you who did. Much appreciated. But so the autographs the following day went really well. Everybody was very kind. But looping back to Saturday night, I was brought to a Cards Against Humanity panel that Lauren Londa was hosting. Apparently she'd done it before. And, I got to give her some credit. Originally, I was a little worried of how it was going to go because I was not so much concerned about the organization on our part with the actors being up there, but more so the audience participation. I assumed it was going to be us playing and they would just, sit in and laugh and comment on it. But apparently it turned into this whole thing where like the audience were made up of teams and we were reading the cards and doing all that stuff and everything. And, we did some stuff in character voices, and it was raunchy and disgusting as much as any Cards Against Humanity game would be, of course. And but it was a really good time. So major shout outs to Lauren for including me in on that. And then going to Sunday, last couple things that we did was I had the last major thing I did was a voice actor roundtable panel where it was just a bunch of the actors together. And I know I'll sound biased, of course, for doing this, but it was probably most likely the biggest honor of all that I got to meet Grey Delisle, with no disrespect to any of the other lovely guests that I had met for the first time there. Matilda and John Swayze, a whole bunch of other folks were very, very kind. But Grey Delisle, of course, is one of the top working, cartoon actors in the world. She is incredible. And, she was on the panel with us and was so much fun and so kind and so personable. And I was like, oh, my God. So she was a blast to get, and the whole time I was like, don't say anything dumb. Don't say anything dumb. You're on a panel with Grey Delisle. Don't say anything dumb, Niosi. Jesus H. Christ. And, of course, she was the funniest of all because she was just saying whatever hilarious shit was on her mind, and it came out great. So that was fun. We did some fun little questions with that. I think it was about 5 or 6 of us all together on that one. And then after that, we had the voice director panel with myself and Brittany Lauda and Afia Yu. However, it was late in the day and not very many people showed up, but thank you to everybody who did show up. And also thank you to Micah Solisad, who came up and made the panel more entertaining by just bringing random silly questions for us to fuck around with. Also, super thank you, shout out to the lovely and talented Caitlin Galtz, voice of Fenico on Agretzko, who was kind enough to drive all the way to LAX in awful, disgusting traffic that night when we got back, and was kind enough to give me the car seat because I was just very, I didn't get any con funk, thank God, but I was just so fatigued from the weekend and just so incredibly tired, and she allowed me to take the passenger seat when we drove back, and I got back very late and was greeted to some delicious, lovely home cooking by Amy. And now I'm back in, and I've got a very, very, very busy week of recording to do, which I'm very grateful about. My voice is kind of shot, as you can probably tell from the way it sounds. And yet here I am recording a Kirblog because I have to continue to produce shit for you all, and I hope you guys like it. Ha, shrug. But yeah, no, Anime Week in Atlanta was a spectacular time. There's so many people that were so great to hang out with. I couldn't possibly list them all. A couple other shout-outs to Anna Kingsley, voice of Flame Girl, and her lovely friend Layla, who sang on the Starlight Speedway song that was on Tome in episode 7, as well as my friend Lauren and her friends that came in, and we hung out a little bit in the Artist Alley and stuff. So many people. Just a great time. And, it's funny. I kept saying throughout the weekend that it was the perfect con for a lazy fuck like me, where it's like MagFest, where it's just all takes place in in just one single hotel. So I was just able to be, in the same place. Didn't have to go too far. The one place I went to out from there was I got dinner with the Team 4-Star guys at like some steakhouse place, and that was fun to see them and everything. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Once again, shout out to anybody who happened to see me at AWA and went up and was super cool. You're all great. And so I'm still taking one more week off from streaming, from doing any animation stuff. But I'll be getting back to it very soon. And I've got some other work to do in the meantime. I've got a lot of recording to do on a few different projects. So I'll be getting back to things as soon as I possibly can. I'll probably have a Kickstarter update at some point this weekend because we're coming up on, it's almost now been a year since we launched the original Kickstarter for Tome RPG, and we've been working very hard. We're going to have some new stuff to show. I think it's probably for the anniversary in November. We'll have a bunch of new updates to show, maybe a new build or something, and maybe some more character reveals or whatever. But so lots and lots to do. But thank you all so much for tuning in and everything, and being patient with me while things have been going on. Look forward to Osomatsu. And I guess for the next Kirblog that I do for this weekend, on Saturday I'm going to be seeing the My Hero Academia 2 Heroes movie. So I'll be doing that while the next Kirblog goes up. But if you guys have any questions or anything you want to submit, maybe I'll just do like a little mailbag Kirblog for this weekend or something. So if you guys have any questions, you want to submit those in the comments below, let me know, and mayhaps I'll get to those. But in the meantime, thanks very much. I will catch you all later, and have a great week. And September's already wake me up when September ends, and it's good. Okay, good. Trip and fall to finish line. Bye.